Hello, hi! Today I'm going to be breaking down the opening from Mushoku Tensei Season 2. This is my first video in a series of videos I will be making about Mushoku Tensei, breaking down every single individual episode and why every single episode is absolute peak fiction. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe. Anyways, let's get right into it. The opening begins with a very slow opening of a tent. If you all remember correctly, this is the place where Rudius first lost his virginity. Not to mention, you also see the wine chalice that Rudius spilled that day. This is a pretty one-to-one representation of that moment. Then you proceed to see a wide portrait of a woman on the bed. Now, with what I've told you, you may perceive that this is Eris. Or if you're someone that has already read or seen this series, you may perceive this as Selfie. However, I believe both of those would be wrong to say. I think this is the representation of Rudius' ideal woman. Eris and Selfie actually already have a different representation in this opening, and that is as birds. This is the same with Roxy. Next to the cage you see 3 feathers left behind by their representations. Thanks to Rudy, all 3 of them have found their path in life. Next, we see a magic circle. I believe this could be a teleportation circle, perhaps representing how Rudius is studying teleportation magic as a way to uncover the secret of the mass teleportation event. The fact that this is paralleled with Rudy sleeping with a woman shows that trying to solve this mystery would also solve his erectile dysfunction. We flash back to the woman who, in my opinion at this point, is supposed to be a mystery. For a very split second we see a flash of green, and also what appears to be one of the flowers that Selfie fell on. We will come back to this at the end of the opening. As the opening goes on, the woman appears to turn into a bird and fly away, a white bird. Then the woman Rudius was holding hands with disappears into red petals, representing how Rudius thought Eris was his ideal woman, but then she disappeared on him. Then this cuts to an early dark morning and Rudy is slowly building up the energy to get up. Then a blue bird illuminates the way, of course being Roxy, lighting the way to the Renoir University of Magic, a place that Rudius decided to go because of a letter Roxy wrote to him when he was young. Color is used very beautifully in the next scenes. While we see many bright color-filled characters, Rudius, who barely built up the energy to get up in the morning, is still very slowly walking through a black and white building, surrounded by the events that happened to him in Season 2. So while Rudius may have had some great moments in this arc, to him he's still barely dragging on through life. Then of course we cut to Nanahoshi touching on the teleportation circle, foreshadowing her and Rudius' future relationship, of mutual benefit. As we cut back to Rudius sluggily walking up the stairs, we see that thanks to him, Eris is bright and free. This time he is surrounded by events from Season 1. That once again, while they were great moments, they don't carry him at this moment. Then we get a beautiful transition between Elenace and Cliff, where Cliff clearly just got bullied for defending her, and foreshadowing their future relationship. And it could potentially also foreshadow the struggle Cliff goes through trying to break her curse. Finally, our boy Rudius gets a W because he gets a bright moment of him saving Sarah. A moment I think could have saved his life if not for lack of performance. Unfortunately, after a very short bright moment, we go back to an alone and scared Rudius who is clutching himself, surrounded by now his most terrifying memory, the moment Orsted nearly ended his life. Luckily, Rudius is not alone for very long. A green bird appears which eliminates him. Remember at the beginning of the opening with a flashing green where I said we would go back to that? Well, speaking of green, this green bird now turns white. This white bird flies back into the white tent from the beginning of the opening. Rudy finally illuminated again, holding the green feather that symbolizes the freedom he helped Sophie reach. Gives some passage back into the white tent. So he reaches out and then we cut back to a very similar scene to the beginning of the opening. And last time it looked like Rudius barely built up the energy to get up. Now he instantly smiles. The white bird flies by. Rudius is no longer surrounded by grey walls and instead by a sky of endless possibilities. The same flower Sylphie originally landed on sitting behind them. To me, this opening is absolutely beautiful. The music and visuals synergize perfectly. Anyways, that's the end of this video. This is probably going to sound really corny, but I actually teared up a few times while recording this. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like. Comment your thoughts on this opening, your favorite part, why you don't like it. Maybe even comment why you thought it was better when we didn't have a real opening, or why you think it's better than now we do. Also, if you just want to casually hang out with me, I do stream at twitch.tv/slyperformer. It's the same as my YouTube handle, just with twitch.tv at the beginning. It would really help me out. You don't have to donate or anything, just watching helps a billion. I try to be uploading more frequently now, so keep an eye out for that as well. I want to be serious about this online creation stuff. I sort of gave up, I got depressed, I got sad, but now I want to go back into this full force, and I hope that you're there to support me on my journey. Thank you.